Hello everyone, and now welcome to game 3 in this series. So far things have been going pretty crazily in this series. Seeing some rather unusual, unorthodox strategies. Perhaps Wind Riders have become the new main staple against Undead, as the grunts were not strong enough. I haven't seen this meta shift for quite some time, but we'll see if this becomes much more common or if this is just one of the tricks and one of the strategies that has become more common to fly, as we'll be looking at. Nope, it is going to be a barracks this time around. All right, a little bit more of a conventional opening. We will be seeing grunts. We may even see a Blade Master here as well. Perhaps his opponent, knowing how to deal with this strategy, or thinks that he knows how to deal with it, is going to be trying to execute some sort of different game plan. So far, not much to really unfold here in the next couple of minutes. You can see that we are going into, well, what is the hero of choice going to be? Is it going to be a Blade Master? Or, yes, it is going to be a Blade Master, not a Farseer this time around. So it is a much more traditional opening that we're looking at. Blade Master grunts trying to creep here on Ancient Isle. Meanwhile, we should be looking at a Death Knight opening with ghouls, and then eventually graveyard for Crypt Fiends. Crypt Fiends, very, very important. They are very strong ground units, and they generally do very well, even though they are relatively slow on the attack. Because of their slower attack speed, you can somewhat stutter step with them, attack and then move continually until those units pretty much fall back. All right. We are training up more ghouls, still waiting for the 2-minute mark. The Blade Master will make its way out, and is he going to just try and creep on his side of the map? I do believe so. There is that Blade Master, perhaps going to be picking up some Windwalk. Yeah, picking up Windwalk as its first skill, and now going after this 5-3-3 creep camp. All right, Blade Master easily going to go ahead and take down that Ogre Magi with the help of a Grunt. Blade Master dealing a lot of damage. That Blade Master's average damage is in the 30, I think in the 35 range. Very, very high. And you can see how quickly that gets taken down there. All right, Blade Master now looking to back off. There is an Acolyte sitting right there watching in between the bushes, as we're looking at that Blade Master looking to perhaps move over here and try and pick up another item. Meanwhile, the Death Knight is already moving out, and it has a whole bunch of ghouls and also skeletal minions as well. So far, that Blade Master should have no problem taking down this Null Brute, but it's not going to really get any extra and any additional... Oh, I thought I saw a wisp over there for a second. Any extra levels there, as we now finally see the Scroll of Town Portal being sold for 175 gold. Makes sense that Blade Master doesn't really need to hold on to that Scroll of Town Portal, can move around the map extremely quickly. Doesn't get cornered off all that much, as we're finally looking at down over here. Halls of the Dead being upgraded, Stronghold already being upgraded as well. All right, you can see a healing ward was placed down, so all of these units pretty much regenerating a lot more hit points than you would expect. And the Death Knight now sitting at level 2, perhaps getting in a little bit of a lucky break, could try to go after another very high level creep camp. There's a Dust of Appearance, and now we're going to be just straight up charging on in here as well. And if it does go after all of these units, what is really going on here? He's just buying time, making a move around. All right, there you go. There's the engagement. There's the attacks. There's a healing ward now being placed down. So all of these units are not going to fall very easily at all. And this may give the Death Knight level 3. If it gets level 3 this early, it's going to be very, very strong later on. All right, it looks as though the healing ward was destroyed there. Meanwhile, the Death Knight, not knowing that the Blade Master is just a hop, skip, and a jump away right by this Goblin Merchant Shop. So far, the Blade Master has really started to just level up. He's playing a much more traditional build. His items, double circlet of nobilities, very useful, but he's really hoping for a Claws of Attack plus 6 at this point. He doesn't have the necessary damage. The extra mana, the extra hit points does help, but he's really hoping that that Blade Master can turn into a DPS machine. Meanwhile, the Death Knight, now sitting at level 3, He could try to clear out this creep camp as well off to the north, but many of the creep camps have already been cleared out. The only one he hasn't gone after is this Red Drake creep camp, and for obvious reasons. Blade Master off to the north here, going after the Goblin Laboratory, gonna pick up some healing wards as well. That's gonna be very useful for him, as his grunts are now just regenerating hit points. This is giving the Orc player Fly plenty of time to catch up in terms of experience, but normally the Death Knight is behind in terms of experience and then is able to catch up very quickly once Crypt Fiends are added. We'll see how this is all going to unfold here in just a moment. As the Blade Master is still wandering around here, it's going to be going after this Null Overseer creep camp. Alright, the Blade Master, or the Death Knight, now going after this 533 area here. We are trying to get at some additional lumber, perhaps. That's why the ghouls are all currently just mining back at home. But I can't imagine what the Death Knight should be doing at this point. You can see a bestiary is being built in the back. Only one bestiary, though. We are already upgrading the fortress, and we are now going into a Tauren Chieftain. That is not typically the second hero alongside a Blade Master, as the Blade Master really benefits from the healing of a Shadow Hunter and the Hex. When you're able to Hex out a unit, and it is very so, the Blade Master can clean it up very, very easily, as the units are just coming back over here. Are we going to perhaps see a Death Coil onto that one peon? No, it does not look like it. Blade Master is right there as well. There's a bit of an engagement, and now the Blade Master is going to easily come out and just deal more damage. Also sitting on 405 mana. Wow, very, very high mana Blade Master there. Was not expecting that, as we are now also seeing a Tauren Chieftain making its rounds as well. Death Knight still wandering around over here. It doesn't look like the Death Knight has much of a strategy. Are we going into a Slaughterhouse? Yes, we are. Slaughterhouse in order to get the Obsidian statues and eventually Destroyers. Black Citadel is halfway done. We are not... I don't see a Lich... No, there's the Lich. Lich is now finally out on the field. Makes a lot of sense because of that Blade Master. You want to make sure you get that Frost Armor, slowing down that Blade Master, and also getting that additional +3 armor reduces significantly how much damage that Blade Master can do in any sort of fights. So far, the Death Knight still wandering around here. Blade Master is still trying to come in for a bit of an engagement, but Fly is just absolutely in control of this game. He has the larger army. He has very strong heroes. Even though the Death Knight did creep out very early on, this is still not looking all too good for him. So far, we are still going into a little bit of an engagement. The Lich still taking a little bit of damage there. The Blade Master is still unable to catch up, as he is almost at level 4. The Lich still wandering around back and forth here. And let's take a look at the supply. 39 over 50 compared to 33 over 40. So yes, that is a significant difference in terms of supply there, and that Tauren Chieftain is just going to continue to get stronger if he's able to creep by himself. Death Knight now finally back on Blight, will regenerate hit points. There's an Obsidian statue as well, and that Lich just going to get off some easy shots there, but the Blade Master very happy with the course of the game right now, knowing that he has a fairly significant lead. So far, the Blade Master now running all the way back. We can see that the Lich and the Death Knight are right here. Orb of Corruption onto that Death Knight should be given to the Lich, as the Lich... nope, not going to be given to the Lich. Alright, so not given to the Lich this time around. Perhaps... Oh, nope, never mind. Take it back. Is given to the Lich. We are going into a Kodo, and we are also going into Troll Headhunters. This is not a typical strategy at all, as the Tauren Chieftain now finally gets to level 2. We can see that the Death Knight is still wandering off to the north. There is an Obsidian statue and some ghouls now making their way over. They're going to try to creep out this green creep camp here. Or sorry, this most likely red creep camp here, as the Lich does have Frost Armor and now is attempting to take down this Red Drake. Red Drake is taking significant damage, but it is still going to be quite some time before that Lich can finish it off. Alright, the Death Knight now joining in on the fight, giving the Orb of Corruption to the Death Knight, allowing him to attack air at least momentarily. There's the Death Coil, and what item was picked up? A Boots of Speed, so the Lich now slightly faster as well. Meanwhile, the Blade Master clearing out this creep camp off over here. Gonna get to level 4. We're already at level 4, and now with plus 24 attack, those Claws of Attack plus 6 and that Orb of Lightning is gonna give gonna give that Blade Master so much damage, especially as it is already at level 4 with level 2 critical strike. Lich, very dangerously low on hit points. There's a Death Coil to save it. Meanwhile, the Blade Master comes in right as the Death Coil does come down. The Lich, with the Death Knight not using a Dust of Appearance as it was already used earlier, and that Blade Master does get away. We are seeing that 50 over 50 supply compared to 41 over 50. Things are still looking good for the Orc player. He has a much larger army, as the Death Knight now still wandering around here. This is not going to be a very good fight. There's a Frost Nova and a Death Coil. Is it going to get taken down? Yes, it does. The Troll Berserker taken down already, as the Blade Master now joins in here. Alright, we are now going into a bit of an engagement. The Obsidian statues are there to try and heal back up. Peons are falling pretty easily as well. There goes a... Nope, Ghoul is able to escape and head back home. Alright, Death Knight is there. True Shot Aura, not altogether that useful on the Death Knight. Lich now wandering around. You can see not very many creep camps left. Maybe 1, 2... 3, 4 creep camps left on the map. Just a handful, or just a very, very small number of creeps. And I believe that has to give an advantage to the the Orc player. The Orc player is still sitting pretty strong. He does have an almost level 3 Tauren Chieftain. And once that Tauren Chieftain gets to level 3, we may see a very high level Shockwave dealing a lot of damage across multiple ghouls. We also see a Frostworm now being added, so the Frostworm to try and slow down not only the Blade Master, but also the Tauren Chieftain. If you're able to focus down one Blade Master and one Tauren Chieftain with each of those Frostworms, their movement speed is severely limited, their attack speed is also severely limited as well, and the rest of the army doesn't normally have that high damage. Troll Berserkers getting a little bit of benefit there from the War Drums and the Endurance Aura, but that is about it. Meanwhile, the Blade Master is still wandering around here trying to figure out and trying to scout out his opponent. Alright, Death Knight seeing that level 3. Dual Frostworms here. Are we going to be going into a third? Yes, we are going into a third Frostworm now, and with 3 Frostworms, that might just be enough damage. We'll have to see, as a second Obsidian statue is now being added. Alright, Sacrificial Pit gonna get taken down here. The Shade is keeping track of the army. There you go. There goes that Sacrificial Pit. And now we should be seeing a bit of an engagement here. Alright, so far, Blade Master now trying to just wander back here. Ultra of Darkness. That second Frostworm is going to be quite some time in coming. And this is just giving plenty of time for the Raiders to come in and deal a tremendous amount of damage. Obsidian statues are still trying to heal here. And there is also Destroyers as well. So the Destroyers, perhaps they can absorb some mana. We also have Berserker Strength as well. So the Berserker Strength meaning that the Grunts are now up to 800 hit points. Very strong, as the Kodo Beast now trying to back off here. So far, the Tauren Chieftain now wandering back. Blade Master wandering back as well. You can see that the Death Knight still hiding in the backfield. Blade Master comes in, gets some easy shots off onto the Obsidian statue, and it looks like that Obsidian statue down to 233 hit points. Gonna get some easy damage there. Perhaps this Obsidian statue needs to be repaired, or some mana needs to be absorbed by these Destroyers to really try and take down these Grunts. Raiders, Grunts, Troll Berserkers, all working together. Meanwhile, down over here, an expansion is being placed down by Fly once more. And Fly just seems to be cruising at this point in the game. He doesn't really have to worry about very much of anything. And now we are going to be seeing the Peons just wander around over here. And where are they going to go? They're going to transfer down over here. What, Thorium Armor? Thorium Armor meaning, is that level 3 armor? Level 2 armor, so... what, 19% damage reduction? That is very, very high at this point, especially since the Frostworms have no damage reduction or damage increase aside from the True Shot Aura. Alright, 3 Frostworms. This may be the winning element here, as the Blade Master did spot this and scout it out. Are we going to see perhaps some more guard towers being constructed? Also, the Orc Burrows are all fortified armor already. The Blade Master running away here. And here we should be seeing an engagement. There we go. And just so much damage to be had. Also, ensnared. That is... what is that? Is that 5 Frostworms? Yes, 5 Frostworms are in the air. And this may have just come as a complete surprise to his opponent. There is also a Healing Ward in play as well. One Frostworm does get taken down. The Troll Berserkers are in Berserk mode. Death Knight now sitting at level 4, and more Frost Worms are still being added. 5 Frost Worms in the air, and this massive Frost Worm army seemingly coming out of nowhere, and it doesn't really feel like that the Fly was expecting this at all. We can see that he's going after all of the ground units here. Once all the obsidian statues are gone though, what is left? Alright, there goes another raider. Not enough ensnares coming down, and wow, all of a sudden this Frostworm army just taking a play out of Fly's playbook, massing up a massive air army, making sure that your opponent is unable to handle it. Death Coil onto the Lich, keeping it alive. You can see that the Frostworms are just constantly keeping the Tauren Chieftain in a perpetual slow. Death Knight healing that Lich once more. We have a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability onto that Lich as well. It's being used, and I believe that is going to be GG as the Blade Master falls. Anxi taking out with so many Frostworms right there. That final fight giving him the victory. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.